The prologue was so good that I had to put my crochet hook down, but then I picked it back up. Hello, everyone. I'm author R.L. Raintree. This is Reels and Reads, where I give honest reviews and occasional spoilers. Today, I am reviewing a 92-page short story by Chantel Davis called 14 Days in February. Now, I was just looking for something small and simple to read right before I go to bed tonight, and then I realized it's way too early to be trying to go to bed, but I decided to read the short story anyway. This is definitely romance, and it is definitely some comedy mixed in. And I will say that I like Chantel's writing style. So, the basic premise of this short story is you have Zio, who is a chef, who has been dating Sky for 4 years, but every Valentine's Day, she kind of ghosts him. Like, they are very close, they're very tight, but the moment February comes around, all of a sudden, she needs her distance. Now, to be fair, this is an arrangement, a hunching arrangement, and this is what they do. No real commitment, nothing really going on, but they're both lying to each other. They actually care about each other, they actually love each other, and Zio decides he's going to make that step. He tells her that basically, I love you, and either we're going to be a thing, like an official thing, by Valentine's Day, or we're going to end it because I'm not going to waste no more time on you. Which, sir, yeah, I get it. Good on you. I get it. Now let's start with the things that had me hooked, shall we? The thing that reeled me in was the prologue. The spice, which is a word I hate to use, is in the prologue. I mean, it's the type of stuff that made me feel some type of way, if you know what I'm saying. I was feeling all tingly in my No No Touchy special swimsuit place. Like, it was, yeah. But the purpose of the prologue was to show us that basically, it's a no strings attached type of relationship, because she immediately begins to panic when she realizes he was reaching for her soul. Can't say that I would have complained. But one of the things I liked about this author was her use of language, and I have the book on my Kindle here. It is available to read for free on Kindle Unlimited for you Kindle girlies. We're talking words like wetting my insides. Okay. And then when she gets to a point where he's told her how he feels, and of course, Sky is like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm afraid of commitment. Apparently, Zio has an issue with Olivia Dean. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the singer's name. I'm sure y'all know the person. Olivia Dean. And she's catching strays all throughout this book. He says at one point, Olivia Dean played softly in the background. I hated her songs then. Sky played them to death. I didn't want to fuck to that woman's voice. Is it that bad? Now I gotta go find some Olivia Dean, and hopefully that's a real person. And I apologize to those who know who she is. And then, as the tension rises with that particular scene, he says, the room went still. Olivia Dean sounded louder. Alexa, stop music. He didn't even wanna. I don't know who this Olivia Dean is. I'm gonna have to look her up. And then there comes a point where she says, why are you changing the rules? Like, this is what we do. We hunch. It's a hunch relationship. Why are you trying to make this serious? He says basically, when it comes to the rules, I'm not changing them, I said. I outgrew them. Boundaries. Boundaries. And that immediately takes us to the stuff I didn't like. So remember how he had boundaries where he basically said, we've been together for 4 years, and as much as I love hunching up on you, I need something more. I've decided, the entire time we've been together, that you're the one, and I understand that you're afraid of commitment. I was willing to just kind of write it out just in case I wasn't sure. I have options, but it's clear to me that you're who I want, you're who I want to marry. So I'm going to put up this boundary and say either this is going to go to the next level, or I'm just going to have to, take my ball and go home. And that's fair. That's a boundary. And yet Zio had zero boundaries. Zio had zero boundaries. And now, I don't know if this is because I have AUDHD, but this really got under my skin. He would do things like say, hey, we're going out, and she would put on her best freakum dress and find out she's going to go meet his mother. Sir, that is not attractive in any genre of romance, not to me at least, because I got my TNA hanging out and I'm meeting your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, everybody. What? And then she's going to go meet people who are wealthy on a separate date, and she's wearing a Fashion Nova dress, which I don't know why she decided to rag on Fashion Nova, but then I understand because the people she's meeting would never shop at Fashion Nova. And so he's regularly doing this. He's regularly giving her ultimatums, violating her boundaries when she says, "Hey, I don't want to go. I'm too nervous. I'm drinking to cope with this. I'm self medicating." And he just overrides her with either sex or literally laughs at her. And I shouted at my Kindle when he would laugh at her because what's funny? What's funny about not telling me that your ex-girlfriends are going to be there, not telling me where I'm headed so that I can't, choose what to wear appropriately? Oh no, it's fine, not for me. He regularly violated her boundaries all while enforcing his own. And I know that there are a lot of people who read romance novels who are totally fine with this, who are totally fine with being surprised with things like this, being told what to wear and just show up and be you. That doesn't work for me. Again, maybe that's my ADHD, but something about that just turned me off of Zio. I was in love with Zio in the prologue. I was in love with Zio in the first chapter, and that was her point of view, Sky's point of view. But by the time he starts violating her boundaries, I wanted to put the book down. Mind you, it's only 92 pages. It's a short story, not even a full novel. And then you have a trope that is an ick for me, and there is no polite way for me to say this, so I know I'm going to piss off my black people, but I'm going to give you an example. It says, "Bones," Sky screamed, slamming a tile down with enough force to make the legs of the table wobble. "Read 'em and weep, counselor, Mr. Lawyer. You're out here talking like a big giant, but you're playing like a toddler bitch." Here's my problem with that. I don't like when black authors in any genre write someone who's a big time lawyer, a big time CEO, an astrophysicist, and then, for lack of a better term, niggify him. You'll have a person who has grown up in an all white neighborhood, a black man who grew up in an all white neighborhood. The only black people he knew was in his own bloodline. He went to Ivy League universities, which are white, and, just the upper echelon of society. But then he comes home and puts fronts in his mouth, puts on a Cuban link chain and a fresh pair of J's. No, he wouldn't. As a person who went to an all-white school growing up, I can tell you that those of us who grew up in those type of environments, who got the scholarships to go to college, who went to, I didn't go to an Ivy League college, but those who went to those Ivy League colleges, we don't have access to people like that. Sure, we can come home to those people if that's where our home neighborhood is, but we spend so much time studying, so much time having a code switch just to fit in. We don't go from, whitewashed just to survive, code switched just to survive, to I'm from the hood at the snap of a finger. It just doesn't happen. And I get it. We love black characters that are strong, relatable, and at the same time have the success of a wealthy white person, but they don't go together. For me, they don't go together. You either make your black male character, from that particular type of society, that particular rung of society, or you make them more street and more hood. I'm fine with both, but again, to basically show that your character is down with the cause, or that they never changed, or that they never switched up, it's not necessary. It's contradictory, and it throws me off. And if anything, it tells me that the author doesn't know about that particular field or that particular level of society. There were over 8 typos, which I can usually overlook, but this was just way too many typos. Like at one point, she was wearing heels, and then just a couple paragraphs later, she's wearing Nike slides. And I also have a cringe thing about constantly name dropping brand names in stories. So because of a lot of cringiness for me, I had to take off 2 stars, one for the typos and one for the violation of boundaries. 3 out of 5 stars. If you read this, hop in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching.